Hey guys, just got a package all the way from Switzerland from MrYanshu. This is exactly how it arrived, all burst open. I got some things in it I'll show you in just a moment, but for you guys that send stuff from Switzerland, I know you got great postmen over there. I've been there, I've seen it. What a professional, dedicated service that those guys are. But here in the United States, things are just a little bit different. And when you send light packages like this, you need to know that most of our U.S. postmen are, well, they're knuckle-dragging simians. Most of them, or at least the majority of them, are ex-convicts and drug addicts. And in my case, the local postman he delivers my stuff in the late afternoon, so he's usually quite drunk by the time he flings the package out somewhere along my street. And he usually strikes, a parked car or a tree or something, but I don't know if that's what happened. But surprisingly, he did not steal the 2 Swiss candy bars. Thank you, MrYanshu. I got a red note, and he says, this is a training lock, a BKS, and I've got some keys here, but unfortunately these are for an ABIS, which doesn't appear the ABIS lock or the keys, if there were any for the BKS, survived the U.S. postal system. But MrYanshu did ask that I make a video on how to pick this. He says this is a training lock. Take a quick look, and if I just squeeze that tape up, by the way, I can see the back pin. Probably pin 6 is missing. Let me go ahead and get the vise, clamp this baby up, and see if we can get it picked. And then, in the meanwhile, go ahead and start cursing the U.S. postal system, and I'll be right back. Alright, got it clamped up. Let's see if we can get this thing open. We have a very paracentric keyway here. I would love to use top of the keyway tension, but in this case, you'll notice the warding is such that we can use bottom of the keyway and the tension wrench won't get in our way because we're going to be working from that ledge on the right. So let's go ahead and at least try that first. See if we can find a tension wrench. That's a little bit large. This is the medium one. That'll work. That doesn't quite hang up there too far. And because of the paracentric keyway, I am going to use a 15 thousandths standard hook to allow me to get up there and kind of pick around that little angle. So I'm going to just kind of shove it all the way in there to get started. Get him around that corner. Apply a little tension and start picking. Very light tension. It's a training lock, so I have no idea what MrYanshu. I just touched pin 4 and I got a very slight turn on the core. No idea what MrYanshu's stuck up inside of here. Okay, I touched pin 4 and we got a very slight fault set, so I'm going to kind of work it back into the rear and start over. As I said, it's very tight. Alright, let's try it again. Try to find a binder. Now I have a very deep fault set going. And I'm on pin 2. And notice we're getting some counter rotation. So MrYanshu, that's probably a spool. And we picked him, and you notice now we've lost our fault set. Had a lot of questions about that. Spools are designed to cause all of your previously picked pins to fall back down, forcing you to repick them. That's what the purpose of a spool is. So again, I'm going back to the very rear to check, and sure enough, pin 5 feels like he's down on the bottom again. Pin 4, and there we go. So the trick on this one, MrYanshu, is probably that spool. You're getting confused thinking you've already picked pin 5 and pin 4, and when you pick that spool, they unset. But just to be sure, I've been wrong, well, more than 50% of the time when I'm guessing pin types. Let's go ahead and take this tape off and take a look and see what we got inside of here. I'm guessing, but I imagine I'm going to leave this picked because I only want to dump out the top pins first. But if I do that, they're under some spring tension here. I got to be pretty careful peeling off this tape, I would imagine. Okay, we got 2 layers of tape with a tension wrench, or with an Allen wrench. Alright, we're halfway there. And this is that famous European super tape. that sticks to everything. Alright, this looks like a cutaway, guys. But that tape is not user-friendly. That is a cutaway. That's a nice looking lock. This is some gooey stuff here. Sorry about this. I had no idea this was going to be under there. And it looks like we do have Allen screws in there. So let me try to get some of this goop off of here so we can get that little wrench. That explains why I gave us a wrench. Alright, you can see inside of there. I'm not going to waste your time. I'll probably fast forward this. But you can see the pins in there, and we see on the front we have a spool, a T-pin, a T-pin, and a T-pin. So let's go ahead and get these out of here. Pardon the fast forward. Oh, there you go. Alright, back to slow motion or standard regular speed. Here's what we are looking at. As I mentioned, all the standard pins, you have a high, low, and then kind of a medium pin there. In the back, MrYanshu probably what was throwing up, you did have some spools, but you also had these T-pins. So they would probably hang up, unless you picked them directly to the shear line the first time, the spring would push these little T-pins back into your shear line. So that might have been causing you just a little bit of problem. Anyway, not that difficult of a lock. If you've ever picked T-pins before, you kind of expect that behavior, and you just keep whacking at it and keep pushing them up until you get a break. You hit a stroke of luck, I guess. Anyway, some wonderful looking spools. I really like these European style, very long, very deep spools, and they are really good at, when you pick them, they're really good at unsetting all of your other pins, and so we'd have two of them to deal with there. Anyway, MrYanshu, thanks a lot. Everybody else, stay safe, stay legal, and next time you're in the zoo and you see a bunch of wild gorillas in a cage, scratching themselves and sniffing each other's butts, those are probably U.S. postal workers in training.